The second book of Chronicles, chapter 35. Moreover, Josiah kept a Passover unto the Lord in Jerusalem, and they slew the Passover in the 14th day of the first month. And he appointed the priests to their charges, and encouraged them to the service of the house of the Lord. And he said unto the Levites that taught all Israel, and were sanctified unto the Lord, Put the holy ark in the house which Solomon the son of David, king of Israel, did build. It shall be no more a burden upon your shoulders. Serve now the Lord your God and his people Israel, and prepare yourselves by the houses of your fathers according to your courses, as David the king of Israel hath written, and according to the writing of Solomon his son, and stand in the sanctuary according to the division of the families of your brethren, children of the people, and after the division of the family of the Levites. So kill the Passover, and sanctify yourselves, and prepare your brethren, that they may do according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. Josiah also gave to the people sheep, lambs, and kids, all for the Passover, even to all that were present, to the number of 30,000, and 3,000 bullocks. These were of the king's substance. And his princes offered willingly unto the people, to the priests and to the Levites, Hilkiah and Zechariah and Jehiel, rulers of the house of God, gave unto the priests for the Passover even 2,600 sheep and 300 bullocks. Conaniah also, and Shemaiah and Nathaniel, his brethren, and Hashabiah and Jael and Jozabad, chief of the Levites, gave unto the Levites for the Passover 5,000 sheep and 500 bullocks. Thus the service was prepared, and the priests stood in their places, also the Levites in their orders, according to the king's commandment. And they slew the Passover, and the priests sprinkled the blood with their hands, and the Levites flayed them. And they took away from the burnt offering to give it according to divisions of the families of the children of the people, to offer unto the Lord, as it is written in the book of Moses, and so of the bullocks. And they roasted the Passover with fire, according to the custom, but the sanctified things they sawed in pots, pans, and cauldrons, and distributed them quickly to all the people. Afterward also they prepared for themselves and for the priests, for the priests of the sons of Aaron were occupied in offering of burnt offerings, and the fat until night. Therefore the Levites prepared for themselves, and for the priests, the sons of Aaron. And the singers of the sons of Asaph stood in their stand according to the commandment of David, and Asaph and Heman and Jeduthun the king's seer, and the porters at every gate, who might not depart from their service. Therefore their brethren the Levites prepared for them. So all the service of the Lord was prepared the same day to keep the Passover, and to offer burnt offerings upon the altar of the Lord, according to the commandment of King Josiah. And the children of Israel that were present kept the Passover the same time, and the feast of the unleavened bread 7 days. And there was no Passover kept like that in Israel from the days of Samuel the prophet, neither did all the kings of Israel keep such a Passover as Josiah kept, and the priests and the Levites and all Judah and Israel that were present, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. This Passover was kept in the 18th year of the reign of Josiah. After all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Perath, and Josiah went out against him. But he sent messengers to him, saying, What have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I come not against thee this day, but against the house of mine enemy. And God commanded me to make haste, leave off to come against God, which is with me, lest he destroy thee. But Josiah would not turn his face from him, but changed his apparel to fight with him, and hearkened not unto the words of Necho, which were of the mouth of God, but came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. And the shooters shot at King Josiah, Then the king said to his servants, "Carry me away, for I am very sick." So his servants took him out of that chariot, and put him in the second chariot which he had. And when they had brought him to Jerusalem, he died, and was buried in the sepulchres of his father. And all Judah and Jerusalem mourned for Josiah. And Jeremiah lamented Josiah, and all singing men and singing women mourned for Josiah in their lamentations to this day, and made the same for an ordinance unto Israel. And behold, they be written in the lamentations concerning the rest of the acts of Josiah, and his goodness, doing as it was written in the law of the Lord, and his deeds, first and last. Behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. II Chronicles chapter 36. Then the people of the land took Jehoahaz, son of Josiah, and made him king in his father's stead in Jerusalem. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And the king of Egypt took him away at Jerusalem, and condemned the land in 100 talents of silver, and a talent of gold. And the king of Egypt made Eliakim, his brother, king over Judah and Jerusalem, and turned his name to Jehoiakim. Necho took Jehoahaz his brother, and carried him to Egypt. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and did evil in the sight of the Lord his God. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, and bound him with chains to carry him to Babel. Nebuchadnezzar also carried of the vessels of the house of the Lord to Babel, and put them in his temple at Babel. Concerning the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim, and his abominations which he did, and that which was found upon him, behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. And Jehoiakim his son reigned in his stead. And Jehoiakim was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem, and did evil in the sight of the Lord. And when the year was out, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babel, with the precious vessels of the house of the Lord. And he made Zedekiah his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord his God, and humbled not himself before Jeremiah the prophet at the commandment of the Lord. But he rebelled moreover against Nebuchadnezzar, which had caused him to swear by God, and he hardened his neck, and made his heart obstinate, that he might not return to the Lord God of Israel. All the chief of the priests also and of the people trespassed wonderfully, according to all the abominations of the heathen, and polluted the houses of the Lord, which he had sanctified in Jerusalem. Therefore the Lord God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising early and sending, for he had compassion on his people and on his habitation. But they mocked the messengers of God, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, until there was no remedy. For he brought upon them the king of the Chaldeans, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and spared neither young man nor virgin, ancient nor aged. God gave all into his hand. And all the vessels of the house of God, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king, and of his princes, all these carried he to Babel. And they burnt the house of God, and brake down the walls of Jerusalem, and burnt all the palaces thereof with fire, and all the precious vessels thereof, to destroy all. And they that were left by the sword carried he away to Babel, and they were servants unto him, and to his sons, until the kingdom of the Persians had rule, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had filled her Sabbaths, For all the days she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years. But in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, when the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah was finished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, and he made a proclamation through all his kingdom, and also by writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, All the kingdoms of the earth hath the Lord God of heaven given me, and hath commanded me to build him a house in Jerusalem that is in Judah. Who is among you of all his people, with whom the Lord of God is? Let him go up,